Okay, Google.
Welcome to Edie's.
Welcome to Quicke Plays.
Is it?
Let's see what it gives us.
Here's a matching video.
Here's a matching video.
Is it going to give us one of our videos?
God, no. Why would Google know who we are? It brought us to a Hearthstone video by a guy I've never heard of, who I guess has a whole channel dedicated to Hearthstone.
I've played Hearthstone, I'm just not very good at it.
I just can't stand collectible card games.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's fair.
I understand the appeal,
But
and if you like it, great. Awesome, I'm glad you're having fun. But like with the type of strategy I don't like how in the heat of the game, it kind of like, and I know it doesn't, and I know it's kind of like poker, where, you know, over time, if you're winning 60% of the time, that's great.
yeah,
But I hate feeling like I'm playing a game, and it's like, oh, if I happen to draw good cards, I win. If I happen to draw shit cards, I lose.
yeah.
And I don't like that.
I don't like that, like, if you... Because I didn't play Hearthstone right away. I got into it later.
Yeah.
And I honestly... Because, like, I was just doing, like, battles against the AI.
Yeah.
And when I went into trying to play against actual people, I was like, what are these cards? I've never seen these before.
Well, the game's been out for a while.
And it had been out for a while, and I want to say they were from whatever expansion came out before Karazhan.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not up to date in my Hearthstone lore.
But, like, what am I... Like, how am I supposed to fight against somebody who has cards that, like, I don't know what to do against?
Yeah. And it's... The random chance thing is neat. Like, I like the idea of kind of a hands-off approach where you can affect what's in the deck and you can change, like, the likelihood of drawing certain cards. But I'd rather see the mechanic in a deck-building game. Have you ever played Dominion?
No. Well, we played it once.
The way those games work are everyone has the same exact starting deck of 10 cards. And, like, some of them are victory points that don't do anything, and otherwise you just have a bunch of money cards that you use to buy cards from a center pool. And those cards are available to be purchased by any player. So when you add in a card, it then becomes part of your deck, and every time you shuffle it, you can see it. And you can buy more to increase the likelihood of drawing it and getting it multiple times.
And when you say buy more...
So, like I draw a hand of 5 cards, and there's 3 monies. So I'm going to spend that 3 money to buy a village. And that village, everything gets discarded. And then the next time my deck depletes itself, I take my discard and I shuffle it together, and that's my new deck. And now all the cards that I bought are part of that deck.
Okay.
And now that village I bought, I can now draw and use. And that's neat, because the whole mechanic is kind of built around, you know, what you do with your deck and how you build it and the way cards synergize. And that's the part of the collectible card game I like, condensed into, like, a half-hour game, and not a lifetime of spending too much money on booster packs.
Yeah, I don't know if I could... I don't think I've spent any money on Hearthstone. I spent... Oh, right, one of these.
You got attacked.
Beat that guy up. Yeah, See, there's things where I could be like, well, I have a decent bit of, like, expendable income this period of paycheck. I think I can, like, spend it on a microtransaction or something.
But you're never going to spend it on Hearthstone?
But yeah, like, even when I got kind of really into it for, like, a month and a half, I couldn't, because I was like, even if I get these cards, there's no guarantee that they're ever going to be useful.
Yeah. I actually did have a phase where I got really into Magic. I knew it was fun, but I finally just got to a point where, like, I had a really good deck. I loved it, but, like, my deck was all about getting a lot of creatures out really fast.
Yeah.
Or not fast, just getting a lot of them out, and they all could buff each other in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, at the start, they didn't necessarily have a lot of health, but you get the right cards in, and they all get lots of health, lots of damage. And someone had a card that's just like, oh, do 7 damage to everyone. And it's like, well, shoot. All of my cards are now dead. And my hand is empty because I've been playing all of my cards. It's like, that's it, game over.
And it kind of sucked the fun out for you?
Yeah, it's like, and I understand, okay, yes, it's a valid strategy, but the fact that I can perfectly execute the way my deck is supposed to be played, and he just happens to have the one card that just wrecks everything. And then I talked to someone about this once, and they're like, oh, well, that's why you want to put, like, counter spells in. It's like, but then I still have to hope that I have drawn that counter spell.
Yeah.
Or, what if I physically don't have it because I couldn't find it? Or what if, like, that's a blue card and I don't run blue in my deck?
Yeah.
It's all green. And it's too random, and I don't like it.
There's just too much, like, relying on the game working in your favor instead of actually, like, being the one that affects whether or not you'll win.
Because I like feeling like the choices I'm making are impactful. It's like, oh, well, I happen to draw this card, so I'll play it. And I know there is some strategy you can put into it, but it just feels so hands-off. I don't like it.
It doesn't...
Not one bit.
It doesn't work for your playstyle.
Yeah, if I were the Grinch, I wouldn't ruin Christmas, I would ruin collectible card games.
What about Yu-Gi-Oh?
That's a collectible card game.
Well, I didn't know if you had different feelings about that one or not.
I mean, it's basically the same thing, just sillier and more anime.
But don't you... You're a weeb, though.
Oh, yeah, the biggest weeb.
So you like anime. You definitely...
I like when people take screen caps of anime based on card collectible games.
Yeah.
And it's just, you just like, oh, okay, which one's the main character? And it's the person with, like, giant red hair in the shape of fire. Because it's, oh god, they have the stupidest hair.
Well, I mean, you could say that about most animes.
No, you couldn't.
What about, who's the guy with the wacky mustache?
Oh, the guy with the wacky mustache.
Yeah, he had, like, the really long super mustache that he could, like...
Oh, from Lazy Town?
No, it's an anime.
Yeah, he was Lazy Town, and he had that cool song. It was like, we are number one, and he's teaching them how to be villains.
No, not that guy. Although,
Oh, you're talking about Waluigi with the big silly mustache.
I was about to say I'm happy that that guy seems to be doing better with his cancer treatments.
Yeah, good for you, person whose name I forget. You keep at it.
Well, I know his character's name is Robbie Rotten.
Robbie Rotten. Yep.
But I was thinking, I want to say his name is like the guy I was thinking of was like Bo or something.
Oh, Bo.
Yeah, that one.
That was the hair anime.
The Harame?
No, hair anime.
Right, Harame.
He like fought with his hair.
Right.
And all the plots were like, they want everyone to be bald.
Sure.
And stuff. It was weird. I never actually watched it.
Sure you didn't.
No, I didn't. Because it was like on Cartoon Network at a weird time, and I was just like, what the hell is this?
Your parents didn't let you watch it, did they?
No. I watched a fair amount of Adult Swim, and I'm sure they would have rather me been asleep at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would assume so. But you weren't. And
That was Toonami, back when that was a thing.
back when good old Toonami was... Is Toonami still a thing?
I don't think so.
Is old Tom still running around out there?
No, because I think a few years back they tried to make a big deal of like they were bringing Toonami back, and then I don't think it did that well, so they kind of gave up again. I could be totally wrong.
They were probably making a big deal about bringing it back, which is fair. But most of the people that watch Toonami are either not going to tune into Cartoon Network to watch Toonami again, or they already have all that stuff like in a personal collection.
Well, I mean, I always thought the appeal of Toonami was like it's stuff that you didn't really have anywhere else to see. Like if you were someone that was into anime, but you're not buying DVDs. The internet's not really a thing. I can't just go to like an anime website and just find one to watch.
Right.
And then they're like, oh no, look at all this neat stuff that's not really shown anywhere else. But anything that would be on Toonami, I can just go find on the internet.
Yeah, and
in a perfectly legal fashion, of course.
Right. Yeah, maybe... Because, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's not a whole lot of people that are still, like, watching cable TV. A lot of people are just going on the internet and just downloading it or something or other.
Yeah. I mean, that's why CBS is trying, the Star Trek is only if you buy the CBS streaming service.
What, they think they're Netflix or something?
I think they will wish they were Netflix. The only thing that I can see having any type of a chance is the Disney streaming service that they're starting up.
Well, I mean, yeah, because that's going to have...
It's going to have all the Marvel movies, and they're going to get pulled off Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's exciting, I guess.
Yeah, at least Netflix gets to hold on to the Marvel Netflix shows for however long that contract lasts.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if they lose that, I mean, it's not really going to hurt them too much. But I know I'm not going to be watching Netflix.
Well,
anymore.
I think Netflix's whole strategy has been trying to push into more original shows.
Yeah.
Which it's been paying off. I am excited for Stranger Things to come back.
Are you?
Yeah, I loved the first season.
Of course you did.
I recently finished watching the first season of Travelers. I think that comes back soon. I'm not going to date the episode by saying when.
I could. Didn't that show just like end though?
Travelers?
Yeah, like didn't they just go into their like between season break?
No. Well, that's a Netflix show, so there's not even like a between season break.
To be fair, maybe it has been a bit of a busy time of the year, so my days might have melded together, and I could be thinking it was recent, but I could really be talking.
No, Travelers came out long enough ago that this second season I think comes out in like a couple weeks. But it's just one of those shows like I never watched, and then I was like, I need a show to watch, and then I started watching. I was like, this is a great show. I love it.
You were telling me about that one show you were watching, American Vandal.
Hey, everyone, watch American Vandal right now. Pause the episode, watch the entire season, and then come back. Oh, wait. Wasn't that a great show? Like, I was not expecting them to end it that way, and all of a sudden it's just like, damn. They really went there.
Yeah, I really can't believe that they made that choice.
I know, right? I didn't see it coming.
Like, because everything else had kind of...
And with the Twitch stream...
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Like, when they were first doing, they were trying to talk about live streaming on Instagram, and I was like, these people don't know what they're talking about.
But then they just totally went there.
But then it turned out it was just a joke, and they were actually streaming on Twitch. And boy, did that guy look like an idiot for thinking they were streaming on Instagram.
Oh, man, I couldn't handle it. Man, that's a good show. So topical, so relevant.
I can't believe we watched that entire thing after putting this on pause.
Yeah, we actually paused the game. Is this game even possible?
Yeah.
I mean, of course it is, because we paused it to watch American Vandal, but
right.
Theoretically, if we hadn't done that, is this game plausible?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
This game is also plausible.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure millennials are killing stores. There would not be this many people at a restaurant.
Actually, this is a walk-up restaurant where you don't have to sit down, so this is actually exactly the kind of restaurant.
If this were also more believable, you would have to sit here for 8 hours doing this, and you would make enough money to not pay your rent.
I'd make enough money to buy some dinner from the place that I was just at for 6 hours.
I mean, that was the greatest thing about working at Wendy's, was I got half-price Wendy's.
People do like half-price things.
And if I had taken them up on their offer to become a shift lead,
yeah,
my Wendy's would have been free.
You'd probably still be there too, wouldn't you?
I don't know about that.
Well, chances are you'd probably be higher up. Well, depending on how things went, you'd potentially be higher up with Wendy's. Well, we're talking hypothetically. You'd be a Wendy's manager.
I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms.
You don't think you can be a manager?
I do think I could, but I don't know if I would have stayed at Wendy's for that long. But also just because they were giving me shift lead.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean I'd be moving up. Because shift lead was basically just like a glorified employee, except you also got to like help make the schedule or something.
Well, I mean, that's like halfway there. That's what most people are looking for when it comes to lead positions.
How much time we got left in this day?
This is actually the final order.
What is the name of this restaurant?
What? I think it was called Chinese Food.
Wow.
I think it was
Original.
literally just called Chinese Food. Oh, like Chinese food. I don't know why I'm saying it weird. It's just called Chinese Food. To get through all those rewards, those aren't important. Well,
yeah, who cares about being rewarded?
Yeah, it is literally just Chinese.
What's the
food.
little subtext?
Beverages and sauces.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on Chinese Food. I have been your host, Foodie McEaterton, and the person who's been vomiting up on your plates has been Eric.
That was rude.
So everyone, please, thank you so much for joining us. Next time on Cooks Are Delicious, we'll find out exactly how many people it takes to make 20 mincemeat pies.